Hey, what's up guys? So let's take a look at some of the coolest and most interesting dash cams that are coming out this year here in 2025. And it turns out there's a lot of impressive dash cams that have been recently released and will be rolling out over the course of the next couple months. And I want to share with you some of the best, some of the most creative, and some of the most interesting options. Some of these dash cams I've already tested and reviewed, while others will be tested over the course of the next couple months. And so make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell to find out when all the reviews go live. Now, down in the video description, I'm going to share with you the purchase links for all of the different dash cams that we talk about here throughout this video, including the ones that are available now. And as new dash cams start to roll out, I'll add those to the list as well. They are affiliate links, and so using those links does support my channel, and it's what allows me to continue doing tests and comparisons and reviews here like this for you. And so with all that said, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the most promising and interesting dash cams here in 2025. Now to start things off, let's begin here with your basic front-only dash cams. And in this category, my go-to pick has been the Viofo A119 Mini 2. Now, this is a nice and compact dash cam that's packed with a ton of features and has really good video quality. It's got a 2K Sony Starvis 2 sensor for great video quality both day and night, as well as effective HDR to help you capture license plates. And so this has been a really nice pick that gives you both a lot of useful features and really nice video quality. Now that said, there is a new entrant coming into the field, the Vantrue E1 Pro. It's also a very compact dash cam here like the A119 Mini 2. However, it actually bumps the resolution from 2K to 4K, allowing you to capture even more important detail. Plus, the price point is actually very similar to what we saw on the 2K A119 Mini 2. Now, there's actually 3 different versions of the E1, including the E1 Lite, the standard E1, and the E1 Pro. And in my opinion, the E1 Pro is the one to get. You can use it either with the included double stick tape mount here like this, or you can pair it with the optional suction cup mount and use it as like a travel/rental car dash cam, which is actually what I'm planning to do here with this dash cam. Now, this is a newer dash cam, and in early testing, there's 2 things people are finding out that you're gonna wanna be aware of. Number 1, people are finding that the video can actually skip frames sometimes and be a little bit stuttery. This is a software issue that looks to be rectified by some of the newer firmware that's currently being beta tested. So if you wanna pick up the E1 Pro, make sure you keep an eye out for the latest firmware and update accordingly. Second, due to its smaller size, people are finding the dash cam actually runs really hot. For example, I find that maximum temperatures in the E1 Pro can exceed 60 degrees Celsius with everything crammed into such a small form factor. And you can compare this to something like a cloud-connected 2-channel Blackview, whose max temps are going to be in the upper 40s, and this is similar to what I found with a 3-channel Viofo dash cam, whose max temps are also in the upper 40s. And so these other dash cams are actually running cooler, even though they've got some additional cameras hooked up. And as we're getting into summertime, we're going to keep an eye out to see like how it handles high heat and parking and driving in hot climates. That was something that the 2K dash cam, the A119 Mini 2, actually did a really good job with, and so something to keep an eye out with as we start heading into the summertime. Next, let's take a look at some of the 2-channel dash cams to give you both front and rear recording. Now, finding a good affordable 2K dash cam has actually been a little bit tricky. My go-to pick in this category has been the Viofo A229 Plus. It's a lot like the A119 Mini 2, except it also adds a second 2K Sony Starvis 2 sensor for the rear as well. And currently, 2K sensors seem to be the sweet spot that balance both video quality and price. And so if you're looking for really good video quality at the lowest price point possible, 2K I'm really liking definitely is a nice step up over 1080p dash cams. 4K dash cams are better still, and I personally prefer the 4K options, but you are going to be getting a price bump in order to go to 4K. Now that said, something to be aware of is there is a lot of fake 4K dash cams on the market that don't actually capture in 4K. They're typically using lower res 2K image sensors and then just artificially stretching the image, which doesn't actually add any detail compared to actually capturing in 4K. So something to be aware of. For example, if you look at some of the more affordable options, such as the Rove R2 4K Dual, well, despite the name and all the marketing information that you'll see here on the dash cam, this is not a 4K dash cam. It actually uses the same 2K image sensor as what's used on the Viofo A229 Plus. Additionally, the rear camera on this, it's not a 2K sensor, it's just a 1080p sensor, and it's actually not that great either, which is part of the reason why they're able to sell it at a lower price. And so finding a dash cam that's a good 2-channel dash cam that's available at a lower price has actually been a little bit tricky. And so for that reason, I've still been kind of leaning towards the A229 Plus as my go-to kind of best bang for the buck 2-channel dash cam, but I'd love to find more options that are also still really good, have good video quality and a nice feature set, and are available at a lower price. Then moving into some of the higher end 4K dash cams, this is where we start getting into some of my personal favorites. Now, my go-to recommendation as far as your high-end 4K dash cam has been the Viofo A229 Pro. It's got a 4K Sony Starvis 2 sensor for the front, and it's available in 1, 2, or 3 channel configurations if you'd also like to add a rear camera or a cabin camera. Now, Viofo has since also released the A329, which is a better dash cam, and it's the one that I've actually been switching to in my cars, but I still think that the 229 Pro is actually a better bang for the buck. Now, that said, it's also important to be aware that with the 329, there is a new version of this coming out soon. There's going to be the A329S, A329T, and A329SW. The main change here is going to be the fact that it's going to be available with 3 channels. So if you want front and rear recording, if you want an interior cabin cam, if you'd like a front telephoto camera, if you'd like a rear waterproof cam, there's going to be a lot of options here that you can choose between depending on what configuration you're looking for. And there's a number of other improvements that are coming out as well that will be announced once the Dashcam launches. Additionally, there's also the A229 Ultra that's in the pipeline, but there's no information yet on this new Dashcam. Now, another high-end option to keep an eye on is the Vueroid S1 4K Infinite. And this is going to be a direct competitor to the A329 series. Now, Vueroid is newer here to the United States, but they're really coming out swinging here with this upcoming Dashcam, including 4K recording at 60 FPS, HDR, low-powered and long-term parking recording capabilities, etc. And so I think this Vueroid is going to be a strong contender for being one of the best dashcams available too. Next, let's take a look at some 4K dash cams. So if you're looking for dash cams that can record in 4K for maximum detail and resolution in both directions, well, there's a number of companies that are actively working on this. In fact, in my cars, I've been running 2 separate 4K dash cams front and rear, but now we're going to be able to actually integrate it in one standalone dash cam, which is going to be much more convenient than having 2, well, separate standalone 4K dash cams in both directions. Now, the first example to talk about is the Miofive S1 Ultra. It records in 4K with both the front and rear cameras, though Viofo does not disclose what image sensors they've used. In testing though, we do find that the video quality is not on par with some of the highest end dash cams, and so it does look like they're actually using older sensor technology. Additionally, that rear cam only records at 24 FPS, which typically implies a limitation either on the image sensor side and or on the processing side. And so this is not a high-end 4K dash cam that records at 30 FPS front and rear. Now, you can compare that to something like the Redtiger F77. This one actually does use some of the latest and greatest image sensors, such as the 4K Sony Starvis 2 IMX678. And so for that reason, we do see better video quality with the Redtiger compared to the Miofive. Additionally, Blackview has announced that they're working on a 4K dashcam as well that will, of course, add their cloud capabilities. And then I also know of 3 other manufacturers which are working on this as well. So definitely something to keep an eye out for as time moves on. Next, let's take a look at some of the more creative dashcam options, and we'll start here first with 360-degree dashcams. Now, there's many different styles here, and I've got a whole other video that you can check out by clicking this button on screen that goes over the different form factors here, but there's 2 main ones that I want to take a look at. Now, in my car, as I mentioned, I've got the 4K setup, front and rear. They're 2-channel dashcams, and so for the rear dashcams, I actually have them set up to give me side-facing coverage. That way, in case maybe somebody T-bones me or it's a police encounter or something, I've got the side coverage as well, which I'm not necessarily going to be getting from the front and rear or even interior cabin cameras. Now, that said, there's 2 new dashcams that are specifically designed to be 360-degree dashcams. First, we've got the Vantrue E360, and it's got a pair of fisheye dashcams that point front and rear to record both the front and inside of the car to give you the 360-degree view all around the windshield. Second, we've got the 70mm 4K Omni. This is also a 360-degree dash cam that has a traditional lens that can actually rotate side to side. And I think there's definitely some interesting pros and cons here. With the E360, for example, it's got the full coverage in all the different directions at all times. However, because it's really going to be a wider field of view, it's going to struggle to capture things farther away, such as license plates. This is something that the Omni is actually going to excel at because it has a more traditional camera lens. However, because it needs to rotate to point at different things, it also has the possibility of not being pointed in the correct direction to capture what you need. So Kind of two interesting approaches here to these different 360-degree style dash cams. Now, another approach to this that I'm really keeping an eye on is going to be the upcoming A329S, which has a traditional 4K Sony Starvis 2 sensor here up front, but the interior cabin cam is actually going to be changed to a fisheye lens as well, which is going to do a much better job of actually seeing out to the side in case maybe somebody T-bones you, there's a police encounter, somebody keys your car, or there's a door ding or something while you're parked, to give you the extra coverage off to the side. And so for that reason, something like this could be a nice balance between giving you the maximum video quality straight ahead while also giving you that sideways coverage as well. But again, stay tuned for all of the full testing and comparisons to see what they're like in practice. Now, speaking of detail capture, let's take a look at some dash cams that have not just one, but two lenses here, including one standard, just regular wide angle lens, and then a second telephoto that's designed to zoom in and help you capture those details, such as license plates. Now, one of the first versions of these dash cams was the Cansonic Ultra Dash series of dash cams. This is the Z3 Plus, which has a pair of 2K dash cams up front, one regular and one telephoto, and it also has the option for a third rear-facing dash cam to help you record back behind as well. Now, personally, I'm not a huge fan of dash cams that are this bright and attention-grabbing up on my windshield, and I tend to prefer something that's a little bit more stealthy and low-key here, like the Akio Eyes dash cam. This also has a pair of 2K dash cams here up front for both your regular wide angle as well as your telephoto capture, and it's also got the third rear dash cam available here too. Now, taking a look at some sample footage though, I do notice that the video quality is actually lower than I would expect given the good quality image sensor selection. It's also kind of a quirky dash cam, and I've seen some issues getting it to record reliably. Sometimes it's actually recording while I'm driving, but the vast majority of the time it actually stops recording on its own even though it looks like the dash cam is still up and running. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here even after updating to the latest firmware. And so based on my early impressions here, I would say to be careful with this one. Remember, these are the dash cams that look the most interesting and promising, but I do still need to do my testing to see what they're like in practice. Now, if you're looking for a more reliable dash cam that does have good video quality, one option would be to take a look at something that Viofo is doing, where you've got your traditional front-facing dash cam, and then it's got a second telephoto that you can install somewhere on your windshield as well. Now, this is available for both the 229 Plus and the 229 Pro. However, I'm not actually a big fan of it because of the fact that the telephoto dash cam actually plugs in place of the rear camera, and personally, I find that rear dash cam to be much more useful in practice than having a second camera pointing up ahead. Now, this is something that's going to be solved by the upcoming Viofo A329 dash cam, which is going to allow you to connect three different dash cams. You've got your front and rear, as well as your third telephoto style dash cam. It's going to look very similar here to this. And so if you're looking for kind of the independent control of the placement, that's going to be something to keep an eye out on as well. And I think I'm probably going to go for that option in one of my cars here too. Now, lastly, what if you're looking for something more stealthy and integrated with the car? There are some options like FitCam, but I'm not a big fan of their video quality and some of their features. Instead, another popular style of dash cam is to actually have something that's built into your rear view mirror. And the front dash cam will be installed on the back of the rear view mirror instead of up on the windshield, and then the rear dash cam you put either like on the rear window or on the rear license plate area. Now, in my mom's car, I run the Nexigo D90 Gen3. This was the first 4K Sony Starvis 2 option that's available here in a rearview mirror style dash cam. Now, there are a lot of fake 4K rearview mirror dash cams, so definitely something to keep an eye out when you're looking at some online and you see a variety of different options. For example, Wolfbox is a really popular brand, and they've got a lot of fake 4K rearview mirror style dash cams. However, they've just released the G900 Pro, which finally actually has a real 4K Sony Starvis 2 sensor up front. The rear cam, though, is a bit of a trade-off with just a 2K Omni vision sensor. Additionally, if you're looking for a 3-channel version, there's 2 versions of that coming out called the G900 Pro Tri-Pro. Now, the first version adds an interior 1080p cabin camera, and I expect this to be the more popular version. There's also one that adds a second exterior camera that goes on the front bumper that's optimized for people who do a lot of off-roading here, for example. Now, if you like this rearview mirror style dash cam, but you'd like something a little bit more affordable, instead of something like a higher end 4K dash cam, 70mi offers the S500, and this one uses a 2K Sony Starvis 2 sensor up front. Plus, the rearview mirror itself is going to be a bit smaller. Instead of 12 inches like the Nexigo and the Wolfbox, this one's going to be a little bit over 9 inches instead. In the rear, it uses an older 1080p Galaxy Core image sensor, and so the quality is not going to be as good, plus the HDR capability only works on the front camera and not the rear. However, if you're looking for something more affordable, this can be an option as well. And with all of these different dash cams that I talk about, I'm going to have links, as I mentioned, down in the video description to the different models, the different accessories that you'll want, like the cables to get things hardwired and set up for parking recording, the recommended memory cards, polarizers to help with glare on the windshield, etc. And so as you can see, there's a lot of really interesting dash cams that are being released here this year. Some are focused more on improving video quality, some are on offering higher frame rate, some are different creative options with adding different camera angles or other ways to keep an eye on what's going on around your car, both driving and parked. And so it's definitely a fun time to take a look at these dash cams and see all the different creative options that manufacturers are working on. And with that said, I'm also finally curious to hear from you all, like which dash cams sound the most interesting to you? Which ones are you interested in picking up? So let me know about that down in the comment area as well. And lastly, as I mentioned earlier, some of these dash cams I've already tested, others I've been keeping an eye on other people's testing, and I'd like to do my own testing here as well. So definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can find out when more interesting dash cams, their reviews and videos go live here on this channel as well. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you're all doing great, and I'll see you in the next one.